Evening, Newarkers. How are you doing? We have a wonderful, wonderful community engagement event planned for you. My name is Burnell Hall. I am the president and CEO of Invest Newark. I have the pleasure of being joined by an esteemed panel tonight to talk about the RFPs that we recently released for our artists or performing arts space at 505 Clinton Avenue, as well as for our cafe space at the same location. We just want to thank all of you for joining us. We know it's a very busy time for all of us digging out of the snowstorm, but we really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you about the status of these RFPs and the excitement around this project that is moving fast forward to a completion of phase one, which we're proud of here. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Invest Newark Senior Vice President of Real Estate Development, Roger Johnson, and he will introduce the rest of our esteemed panelists, and we will begin our program. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Burnell. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go over the RFPs for 505 Clinton Avenue, the performance space, programming and operations, as well as the cafe operations. Joining us here on the call as well, we have Jeremy Johnson with Newark Arts. Jeremy, please feel free to say a few words to the attendees here.
Thank you so much, Roger, and thank you, Burnell, for having us here. I really just want to say, a special thank you to Invest Newark and our friends at the City of Newark for making this RFP possible. So I'm Jeremy Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of Newark Arts. We are an independent nonprofit, and we power the arts to transform lives. So part of that is partnering and making sure that the great opportunities that come from the City of Newark get communicated to the arts community. So that's why we're here, to help get the word out about this incredible project, the RFP process, and the operators who can apply to be a part of this wonderful artistic cultural hub that will be anchored in our Great South Ward. So thank you for having us. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. Also, we have Fiammi Shakur. She is a Cultural and Arts Director with the City of Newark. Fiammi, please, if you will.
Hi, good evening, beautiful people. Thank you so much, Burnell and Roger, for setting up this information session. It really comes at an important time for our city right now. It gives us so much hope for the future. And this is such an important project to the mayor, revitalizing the Clinton Hill corridor and community, and what I know our arts community can do in that space. So we welcome all of these responses to the RFPs. And I just want to really encourage everyone to don't be shy, ask your questions. We're here to help and support you. And we want to see this project become the success that we know it can be.
Thank you. Definitely will be. Thank you. Also on the call, we have Kurt Dean with the OCA Architects. He's worked with the architecture firm that helped design the 505 building. Kurt?
Oh, hello and welcome all. Thank you, Roger, for inviting us and giving us an opportunity to answer any questions that or suggestions that anyone might have that will help to make the building function better and be more successful for the end users. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And as the attendees file in, I just want to remind everyone that this is a question and answer session. And on the Zoom at the bottom of your screen, there is an actual Q&A window where the questions can be placed in there, as well as we will open up the line as well for verbal questions, and in the bottom of your screen, you can also raise your hand when you want to ask a question during the question and answer session. So either the Q&A window or raising your hand, and we'll be able to select you so you can ask your question so everyone can hear. All right. And so with that, I'll begin with, one of the things I actually wanted to start with. I've been receiving some comments about, troubles finding the RFP on our website. Many folks probably have not been to our website yet. So what I would like to start with is just kind of walking everyone through how to find the RFP on our website, as well as, registering on our business directory as well. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so our website, investnewark.org, you will find the business directory here under our Doing Business tab. And what you will want to click on is the procurement portal. Here you'll see the number of opportunities that are posted within a day, the last 7 days, and total number that are available. So if you have never been to our website, there are many opportunities that are posted on our site where you have the opportunity to bid on contracts and other things. So what you would want to do is click on, I want to find contracts to bid on. And as you scroll down, you will see the next link for browse contract opportunities now. So you would click on that. Here, you will see the list of all the opportunities. And you would just, go to the next page and the following pages. I know that our RFPs are actually on page 3, so I'll click on that to go straight to it. And here you will see the Cafe Operator and the Performance Space Operations and Programming RFPs here. And if you have never registered on a website, it will ask you to register or to log in, right? So what you want to do is click to register. And you will be taken to a page where it has a number of fields that you would enter. If there's fields that do not apply to you, you can just simply put in, not applicable. NA is fine for, items that are asking about, sales revenue, et cetera. Do your best to, estimate what that is. Or, if it's none, then you can just put a 0 in there. And then after you're done filling out this, you'll be able to register and then view and download the RFPs. So what I'll do is I'll just log into my account here quickly. And I will go to page 3. And so now at the Cafe Operator, you'll see view this opportunity, view this ad, share this ad, bookmark it. So I would click view. You'll have the RFP here with the description, tab here for contact info, the documents, which is the PDF, any updates, bid results. So under documents, you can click that and then your RFP comes up. I don't know if that, does everyone see that? I know a new window popped up. Great. And simply the same thing with the other RFP. You'll be able to view it. Go to documents and bring it up from there. And then there you'll be able to print it or also download it to your computer. So hopefully that's helpful to everyone, those that have not been to our site yet, or those that had trouble finding the RFPs. If there's still any issues, definitely reach out to our office and we'll assist you with getting the RFP. So here's the first RFP for performance-based operation and programming. As you see, the dates where the proposal was due. And you'll go through the RFP as you read, history about the project, as well as the scope of services that we will be looking for the performance-based operator. Some of the things that we're going to be looking for in your proposal is, your ideas for branding and marketing the performances and the programming. Maintaining a regular programming schedule and high quality programming as well. We're also going to be looking for an operating budget, and how you're going to fund the operations there and the programs, and a number of other things that are listed in the RFP. As you move through, you'll see the lease term section where we're starting off with negotiating a 1-year contract, which will then be up for any type of renewal after the 1 year. The proposal requirements can be sent to me at Invest Newark via email. Electronic copies are always preferred. And you will see also the other items that we will be looking for the requirements, which are background information and related experience, the vision that you have for the space, your work plan, and also a timeline for that 1 year of how you plan on scheduling different events, different programs through the year, along with a hypothetical 1-month schedule of proposed activities. Financials will also be needed, company forms as well. And also, we wanted to include in this re-release how we would be evaluating the proposals. So you'll see that under the evaluation section with the percentages for each category that we'll be looking at. And any questions and answers, questions that you need answered, you can send them to myself, or also Tracy Wingo, who is also part of Invest Newark, and we'll be looking to respond quickly to any questions that we receive. The deadline for questions is listed here, February 22nd, 3 days before the proposal are due. Also included in this new RFP is a list of appliances and equipment for both the cafe and the performance area. For the performance space, there's going to be storage space available for the performance space, as well as a portable stage. We're looking at providing 70 to 80 folding chairs, 10 round tables, as well as soundproof walls and stage lighting. And the rest of the RFP goes into the floor plans, which I will also be pulling up on a slideshow just to walk everyone through. And for the Cafe Operator Rfp, the same dates as the performance space. Submissions are due on February 25th. And you will see also the scope of services, very similar branding your your business, whether you are an existing business looking to expand, if you're a coffee shop, a juice bar, or a healthy food eatery, you know, those are the type of things that would actually work in this sort of space. The cafe is more of like a kitchenette, grab and go, juice bar type of space. There isn't like a full cooktop or stove or anything like that. So it'll be more like pre-prepared foods and juices or coffees that can be sold at the cafe here. So these are just some scope of services to think about with the branding, the high quality of service, having a budget laid out, and as well as how you're going to engage the surrounding neighborhood. Also, we'll have to negotiate a lease for 1 year, and then, from there, extensions can be negotiated as well. The proposals are due, as I said, February 25th. And the requirements similar to the performance space are listed out here. And also the valuation is the same as the performance space. So again, questions can be sent to Tracy or myself, and with the question deadline being February 22nd. The list of equipment and features at the cafe include commercial refrigerator, a commercial toaster, microwave, coffee machine, a restaurant style dishwasher, similar to ones that are used in bars, a commercial freezer, display refrigerator, merchandiser, similar to like when you go to a Wawa or a 7-Eleven, where it's an open front refrigerator where you can grab like a juice or a pre-made sandwich. There will also be a pastry display case, 3-cup lid and straw dispenser, 5 2-seat tables with chairs, a cash register, and there's going to be free Wi-Fi for the building in the cafe as well. So with that, what I would like to do now is bring up the floor plans of the building. Does everyone see this PowerPoint slide here? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gotcha. Didn't hear the response there. So as you guys know, for years, the 505 building was, this is what was seen for many decades, driving down Clinton Avenue. And so with the mayor's vision to transform this building into an artist hub, and housing, this image here was displayed, through press releases as well as online, about what the vision to transform this building into. Then shortly after the announcement, construction began, but then it was kind of delayed, and this was the image that people in the community saw for many years as well. And we worked hard to bring this project back to life, and fast forward to today, where the building has a roof on, the steel is down from the front of the building, brick is being wrapped around all 3 sides. This actually was taken this morning, and windows are going in where we are getting to completion. We're making our way to the finish line here for this building. And so as we speak to the community, and also release these RFPs, we are gearing up to, have this building open and to be, one of the great destinations in Newark. So with that, I will just jump into the floor plans here. I'm going to start with the basement plan just to show what the building has. So the building does have 4 floors plus a basement level. This image here is of the basement level. The basement level is to hold 10 work studios, and that's what our colored boxes here. For those that are unfamiliar with looking at a floor plan, I'll just do a quick walkthrough. So here you have the elevator and you have the staircases here. So when you come down in the elevator, you have 3 workshops here, 1 workshop in the middle, 2 down here, down the hall here, and then 4 on this end of the building. There will also be mop sinks for the artists to, wash their brushes or, clean up anything that they need to clean up. As well as there's some storage spaces down here as well. These 10 spaces will be leased to the residents of the building. We are still working through what the cost will be for that. But you'll be able to practice your particular craft in one of these studio spaces. Next, just jump to the second floor. As you know, our main focus is the first floor, so I'll get back to that. But just so everyone can understand the layout of the apartments, here what I did was I color coordinated so that way you can see each unit separately. So each floor will have 8 units. It will have 7 1-bedrooms and 1 2-bedroom apartment. And so again, here's your elevator, and coming out the elevator to the right, you have 3 1-bedroom apartments here. And then to the left, 4 1-bedrooms, and along the Clinton Avenue front of the building is a 2-bedroom apartment. Each floor will also have a laundry room with 1 washer and 1 dryer that will, have a coin operated. And then we'll take it down to the first floor here. So this is a layout of the first floor, also color coordinated so you can see the boundaries of each space. And so what I would like to do is just walk you through the front entrance on Clinton Avenue, which will be a public entrance. So as you enter, you'll be enter into a lobby space. Down in this end will be a cafe. This is the cafe area where the kitchenette area is here. This U-shaped feature here is actually like a bar top where you can have stools placed around here. To get access into the cafe is a pocket door. And through this door is a back door to the performance space area. The performance space is about 1,100 square feet. What will also be included is a portable stage, which is placed right here. The performance space will also have 2 barnyard style doors for the entrance. Also, these are public restrooms that will service the performance space in the cafe. To the north side of the building will be a shared office for the property manager as well as the performance space operator. Just outside the office is a small closet, a coat closet, and a reception desk area. This will be used for when there's events for the performance space, where you can have a receptionist or a coat check person here to have everyone's coat placed in the closet. as you make your way down the hallway here, this entrance is the residence side. This is actually the residence side of the building. You'll have a card access to get through into this side. And there's actually an entrance off the street from the Chadwick Avenue doors, where you have stairs to go up, as well as a wheelchair lift. And then over here, you will have a 2-bedroom apartment and 2 1-bedroom apartments. And this here is actually a partial floor plan showing a furniture layout for the cafe and the performance space. And so what I'll do is I'll just zoom in here so we can see the layout here. So you'll see that there's tables around the perimeter. You can kind of see that you have room to have seating outside of the the actual bar area. Also in the performance space, you'll see the chairs that are lined here. There are 7 rows of chairs, actually a total of 56 chairs. As I said, we'll be providing 70 to 80 chairs. Also, you'll see at the bottom here, room for tables as well. In the lobby, there will be seating in the lobby, as well as in the office, there will be desks provided along with file cabinets. And we also wanted to just show different layouts for the performance space. So this layout here shows if you were setting up the performance space to, for like a dinner or a banquet or something of those sorts, 6 tables that seat 6 people, with the stage here as well. But if the stage is not needed, you can definitely fit 3 more chairs, 3 more tables here, to get over 70 folks in this space. And here's another layout showing tables with 8 people per table. And again, you'll be able to, remove the stage and, add a couple more tables on this end as well. And as we end the floor plan presentation, just wanted to touch on one thing that, one of the concerns from our community meeting in the last year was with soundproofing. And, we have looked into soundproofing the performance space, given that there is tenants that are above the space. And, we've looked into the soundproofing for the walls, as well as the ceiling of the space and the floors as well. And I'd just like to ask Kurt from OCA if he can just go over, the level of soundproofing that, will be provided for the performance space.
So thank you, Roger. I will borrow your screen and share mine.
Okay.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I just wanted to start out first, just to kind of go through sound transmission, and which is also referred to as SDC, which is one of the big concerns here, because we have the performance space on the first floor and the apartment units above. And so, the initial design, took into consideration some of the noise levels that, would be used there. The initial thought was that it will be used for, small scale performances and rehearsals. And so, we have gone through and kind of developed the walls and ceilings to help to kind of mitigate or reduce any noise concern from the apartment above, because that's the one that's going to be, well, actually there are two apartments, directly above the performance space, and those are the two apartments that are most prone to, whatever noise is created from the performance space. And so I just kind of included this chart just to give folks a quick idea of, just how different things that we use on a day-to-day basis and the kind of sound level or the noise level or energy that they produce. And so, like they say, that just to go through real quickly, we have leaves at about 20 decibels. The dB is the short for decibels. Whispers are about 40. And, I'll move along to MP3 player here, which is, the equivalent of a small system playing in the performance space, which is about 90 decibels. And, if we should have a rock concert, then, we'd be getting up to about 110 decibels. I don't necessarily know if we're going to get above that, but, that's kind of where we are right now. So again, this chart just further takes that into consideration. And I'll zoom in so you could just see for yourself just how sound is classified, whispers, faint, moderate, loud sounds, which again, here they, show a cocktail party. And, the noise produced from that is about 60 to 80 decibels. And then, loud noise from the street, factory, police whistles. And so it goes as far as to talk about deafening sounds. And, that's where you're getting to 100 decibels or above, which would be kind of like your rock concert would kind of fall within, this category. And so the building was designed not so much for deafening sounds, but more for, kind of very loud sounds. And so I will take us to the other slide. I'm having some technical difficulty now. So if you bear with me. So this is the last slide that I share having to do with the sound. And so, it kind of gives the different types of walls and floor ceiling assemblies and, what the STC rating is and, where it falls in the industry and, what's acceptable. So, the low end is a 25 and the highest is about a 60. Anything over a 60 is really not so much used unless you're creating a sound studio. And, in that case is more to stop noise from coming in than noise going out. And so where we fall, we're just in between the 50 and the 60. And again, I will zoom in and you see here it says, loud sounds such as most musical instruments or stereo may be faintly heard. That's at 50. And so, we're in between 50 and 60. And, so we're in here. And I think that level is actually, acceptable for what we hope will be used in the facility. But, part of this dialogue is to also, present that and also talk through it and see, if there are any additional concerns with where we fall. Right now we're hovering about 58 to 60 decibels. And the reason why it's a range is because, a lot of these studies are done in a lab. And so in the field, it's not as precise because, construction is done and there are things that happen along the way and sometimes it's just not perfect. And so, I just think where we are right now getting close to 60 is actually, very good for this type of a project and for the space usage and for the tenants above. And, we really don't anticipate there to be much issues with it. But again, we're here to have that dialogue and to listen. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kurt. Hopefully that that helps people understand what the level of soundproofing will be for the space. So with that, I would like to open up the question and answer session to the group here. I see that there are a few questions in the window. Feel free to place your questions in the window, or also raise your hand in the Zoom, and we will select you from there as well. So I'll start with one of the questions here. I actually answered a couple while Kurt was speaking. One question that I answered already, what is the population, number of people expected in the building? So there'll be 27 units for the building. So there's 23 one bedrooms and 4 2 bedrooms. And then the other question that I answered, is there a ramp at front door? No, there's no ramp at the front door, but handicap access is available from the Chadwick Avenue entrance. Okay. And just to go through some of the questions here. I am confused. This is a vendor to have access to multi-purpose room. Oh no, so this webinar here is for people that are responding to the RFPs that were posted, one for a cafe operator as well as for a programming operator for the performance space. But if you are interested in having your actual wellness company, you can reach out to the actual entity that ends up working with our organization as the programming manager, and they can work with you with a time that you can have your your business come in. Looking at the next question here, will Workspaces be available for recording studios, podcasts, and audio studios? So for that, I definitely know that musicians are artists, but as far as when you're getting into the technical parts of it, we'll have to just get back to you to see what our guidelines will be once they're finalized. If you have questions as well, you can raise your hand, and you can be allowed to speak to ask your question as well. Going through the list here, how many seats does the performance space have? Will the stage, when the stage collapses, can performance space be used as a black box? Not 100% sure what a black box is. I don't know if Fiammi or Jeremy, do you have any input on that?
That's for theater performances. And I would say that would be up to the operator that's selected. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the selected candidate would be able to cultivate the space according to the programming that they would do there, correct? So
Absolutely.
If you'd want to, just put that space together for theater performances, I think you could do that.
Yeah, I would echo that. Black box it really would be up to the operator. I would say that the respondents should really look at the blueprints because they do give the square footage. I know someone's asked about the square footage. This is not a large space. Neither of the spaces are large. So the operator will have to be creative in how they use it with the mini stage that's provided, without the mini stage, with the tables, with the chairs. And maybe all the equipment will not even be there that you would need as an operator. So that might need to be included in your response to the RFP, to the request for proposals. That's one reason why we want to make sure that Invest Newark did include all the equipment that is there. As an operator, you may need more, you may need less. So please look at those lists very closely. And also the square footage. There's another question. Some people put their questions in the chat. I could try to cut and paste it to the Q&A so that you could see them, Roger. But anyway, it's sort of a blank slate. I see this as a blank slate for operators. The city is not providing everything, so the operator would be expected to know what they need and what they don't need. That level of expertise, I think, would be one thing that the reviewers would be looking for.
Yeah, that's an excellent point because some people might prefer a certain sound system in the space, right? And so you would have to have either the equipment already for that, or the financing or ability to purchase that.
Definitely. I appreciate that. And the second part of the question, seats available. So as I mentioned, we're looking to have about 70, 80 foldable chairs provided. So, if there's more that would be needed, you're welcome to bring, your more chairs to the space. The capacity for the space is 155 people per the permitted use. Next question, what didn't you see in the previous RFP applications that you are looking for new applicants? Well, it's not that what we didn't see, it's more of just trying to clarify and broaden the responses. The last RFP, both of these two items were combined, the cafe as well as the performance space operations. And so if you're a coffee shop, I've used this example before. If you're a coffee shop, that wanted to provide your services in this cafe, you wouldn't be able to respond. And then also on the flip side, if you are an artist, organization or what have you that would be interested in programming the space, you were kind of tied to having a cafe component as well to it. So we took a step back and we thought it would be best to separate those two, so that way people that are or organizations, individuals that are in those lanes can actually apply to those specific RFPs. So that was the real reason for re-releasing.
Yeah, and just adding on to that, hi Renata, that's a great question. So some folks that applied were thinking that the space could be used as a gallery or an exhibition space. And then after attending the site visit, looking at the windows and the space, they realized there wasn't that much wall space. And that the mayor's original vision for this was a performance space. So, think Poets Cafe or music, or I don't want to, you're not limited in what defines the performance space, but it's not necessarily the best use for visual art exhibitions, unless you can find some funky way to do that with limited wall space. And then Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, but applicants who have applied or previously submitted to the previous RFP, if they want, they can revise those applications and resubmit. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We definitely thank those that responded to the original RFP. And for this one, definitely, if you're still interested, just make the necessary revisions and submit again. Okay. Apologies, you said 70-80, do the seats collapse? Yes, there'll be foldable chairs. Next question, could you talk about how Jerry Gant and Robert Gilbert will be integrated into design of the building? So I was I was going to save this to the end, but since I guess, what's that?
Yeah, I think we should default to Fiammi on this one.
Aw. Well, I don't know what the actual final name was, but we did have a community vote and folks chimed in. And we have talked with the families, with Rodney's family and Linda Street from Jerry Gant's estate. And we're super excited that the building will be named after them. Is it the Gant Gilbert Collective? Is that the name that was selected by vote?
Yes, very close. So, you know, we're actually going to put out a e-blast shortly, possibly tomorrow or early next week. But those that are here are, you know, the first to hear publicly that the winning name from the poll was the Gant Gilbert Arts Collective. So we will, yeah, definitely. It's a great name, great men, and you know, we will be definitely shooting that out to the general public as well, and definitely be looking to integrate them, working with the families to integrate them into the design inside.
I would like to be in charge of the ceremony along with the families to bless the space with the proper energy.
Yes, absolutely. Got to have those vibes.
1,000%, 1,000%. And thank you for your work with the families, Fiammi.
No problem, my pleasure.
As well, Jeremy. Thank you.
News. That is great news to hear. Thank you. That's just wonderful. I love both of those guys. They're terrific.
Awesome, awesome. Just moving on here as the questions keep rolling in. So what will happen if all sound requirements are met and there's still complaints from residents? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, if you are living next to someone in an apartment and they're continually you know, making noise, you have to, I guess, make complaints to you know, the management company there. And so if there are still complaints, you would have to bring up your concerns with the management as well as the performance-based operator to see if anything can be done. But as far as construction-wise, you know, we are, as Kurt mentioned, we are providing very efficient soundproofing for the space. And you know, we hope that you know, that is enough that makes the sound, you know, absorbs the sound as good as possible.
And I'm thinking of this place really, I mean, for those who know 31 Central, you know, and the vibe that was there, this is an artist house. And so it's really a community, you know, and, you know, we work together collectively, collaboratively, and everyone should be able to enjoy the space. It just should be a vibe. You know, I wouldn't anticipate having, you know, a whole lot of complaints. I think, you know, as we usually do, you work together and, you know, maybe it's a party for the whole house, the whole building, you
The
know,
whole,
comes down to enjoy the performances.
yeah, the whole building's rocking. Absolutely.
Yeah, you like that, Burnell, right?
See, all right, for the artist that works that normal schedule and those complaints come in, I'm gonna give you all Fiammi's email address, cell phone.
I'll handle it.
Joking, just joking.
All right, on to the next question. Would a management fee be expected to be part of the budget for the performance-based operator? If not, is there a revenue structure in mind for the operator? A management fee from a tour to the owner is, I'm not quite totally understanding that question. I don't know if anyone else is understanding that question.
I think people want to know, what are the fees associated with the space? Do they have to pay rent for the performance space?
No, there's no rent for the performance space.
And what about the cafe?
Well, I should say this, that there's no rent for the programmer for the performance space, correct? But if someone wants to, from the outside, wants to rent it as like a what do you call those?
The space rental.
Yeah, like an event space or something like that, then there might be a charge there for that.
But they should have to contact the operator. That would be the revenue collected by the operator to
Correct.
rent it out for space rentals. So, like Jewel was saying, she has a wellness company and she does yoga and meditation. Maybe she would want to partner with someone or work out an arrangement with another potential operator, where that programming could be included somehow into the space. She probably couldn't apply as the sole operator of the space, but partnerships and collaborations are strongly encouraged here. And that's a revenue stream to be able to rent it out to other organizations for events too.
I'm nodding my head here. This isn't just about performance space, it's also about being able to budget and market. So if you are an artist or do artwork, you will definitely want to make sure that in your RFP you talk about how even though this performance space is free, you may have some way to budget in your expenses and revenues, whether it's through rentals of other people that are subletting. You need to be thinking about all of that. The city is not doing that. Invest Newark is not doing that for the operator. They are expecting this information to come forth in your proposal. Be creative. Think about partners, think about who you might sublet to, think about other ways. That performance space is free, but nothing is really free. So you need to figure out, and I know this is a challenge, how would there be financing? Would there be other ways of renting? What is the market like? Who are your networks of people that other folks who would come, whether it's a yoga studio, other types of things that could be used in that space that would be attractive for the populations that are in and around the area and beyond. All of that should be in the thinking. It's a business plan. I'll just put it very simply. It's the business plan, but with the arts. And those are very tricky, we know. So we're looking for your most creative thinking about both budget and arts and community.
And also any grants. So Lily, I hope that answers your question, that there isn't a rent that the operator has to pay for the performance space, but you have to consider what your overhead costs are for your programming and how you're gonna pay for that. Do you have a track record of being able to write grants to pay for any staff that you might need and any equipment you might need? Those are some things you want to think about and make sure you outline in your application what your plan for execution and implementation is.
Definitely, well said, well said. Yeah, as Jeremy said, definitely, look at it as putting together a business plan with a lot of your ideas, creative ideas to be successful. Lillian, did you just respond to Lillian's question?
Yes.
Okay, I can take that one off here. Anonymous, for the resident artists who won't be able to secure a workspace studio in the basement, how will that be rectified? I mean, it's a first come, first serve for the leasable spaces in the basement. After that, I mean, I don't really know.
As spots become available, as people roll out of spots that they had previously been renting, then we'll obviously continue to market them via the property management company. But it is first come, first serve.
Yeah, and we were actually that was a question before too. So something that we were thinking about is having shorter term leases. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months for those spaces in the basement. And then, if, there's the spaces do fill up, there can be a waiting list put together where then, the next person will be able to, lease the space. Next, I submit an RFP for my company, Vibes in the City. Will I have to submit another full RFP, or will there be pointers on what else is needed in our application? So as I mentioned that for those that didn't respond already, if you are still interested, just resubmit your response, per the revisions that were made in these RFPs here. Now the cafe is taken out of the artist programming. So, just revise your proposal by removing that component and, any other changes that you would like to make, and resubmit by the 25th. Not familiar with these type of applications, wondering what rent looks like for the performance space, or is it funded by the city for up to a year? I think we answered this already.
Mm-hmm.
Lillian. Next, please provide the square footage for the performance space, lobby, and cafe. Okay, so the square footage for the performance space is 1,100 square feet. The cafe is 800 square feet. The cafe is the component where you will be renting. You would be paying rent for the cafe. So it would be off of the 800 square feet. The lobby area, I believe about 400 to 500 square feet. Part two of your question is there provision for a backstage, e.g. dressing or green room? Sound and storage closet adjacent to the performance space. Is sound and lighting included? So there is no backstage, if you will, or dressing area. I did show the floor plan earlier in the Zoom, and it's also included in the RFP package. There's a floor plan. If you do have any questions on how to read the floor plan, definitely reach out to me and I can walk you through that, because we're up against the clock here. So we're going to try to finish out all the questions here, as there are still tons of questions. Yeah, there will be storage closets in the performance space on the first floor, as well as in the basement level. Sound is not included, but there will be stage lighting included. Okay. Will sound requirements be attached to the RFP? Sound requirements, I'm not sure what sound requirements you're referring to on that one.
Maybe they mean that the tech specs of the sounds are, but there is no sound system.
There is no sound system.
So an RFP may have to address that.
Correct. That would be something that you would need to provide, yourself. I have a question here asking about rent for the units. So, we have not finalized that, and that will be information that will be issued at a later date. Just going through here. Will the cafe hours have to coincide with the art center's time frame? As I mentioned earlier, that there's going to be a property manager for the building, and there's going to have to be coordination between the property management company, the cafe operator, and the performance space operator as well. So all three are going to work together. If there's a performance, on Saturday night that's late, and your cafe usually closes at 6, are you going to miss out on making some money and stay closed at 6, or you're going to open up. So, it's really up to, each operator on how they want to, run their cafe and also the performance space as well. Next question, do you have to submit separate RFPs if you plan to partner with the cafe operator? No, you don't actually. So that's actually a good question. If you wanted to do both with your RFP, combining them is totally fine. Just make that known that you are applying to both, and we will review it as that. What is the price range for rental units? Already addressed that will be provided at a later date. How does the operator receive the space? Full black box, any equipment, including light and grid? Again, we touched on this already. Light is, stage lighting is provided, no sound. The equipment is listed in the RFP. Sad face from Lillian. I'm sorry, Lillian. Is there an outdoor green area? I remember there being a mention of one last year. There will be a outdoor patio area, but it will be like a paved patio area. It's really for the residents' use. What does the rent look like for the cafe? That is in the RFP, $15 a square foot. And will the city do build out? So the cafe is going to be built out with the building. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to have the kitchenette with cabinets, countertop. You're going to have the bar top, equipment with your fridges, freezers, all that good stuff is listed in the RFP. So only thing you would have to bring is whatever specialty items or machines that you would need for your business.
Roger, what is $15 per square foot? What is the actual rent for the cafe monthly?
It is, I will have to get back to you on exactly what that is, because that was something that was discussed prior, that we went back and looked at to lowering it. So I will get back to you on that, and anyone that does want to know that number, feel free to email me.
Yeah, I think that information is important so that they can consider their budget in their application.
Yes, definitely. The way you calculate it is that it's not $15 times 800. It's really the $15 times 800, but then you divide it by the months, the 12 months.
Let's see.
Will the electrical
It's
power?
$1,000.
Say that again.
Yeah, I
It's
missed that.
$1,000 per month.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kurt.
Let's see.
If anyone didn't hear, that's $1,000. Will the electrical power specs be included for the sound system? There's no sound system, but as if you become the programmer, we can definitely work with you and get you the specs for your sound system. Has the property management company been selected as of yet? Not of yet, no. Will multiple entities running portions of the space, who bears the cost of security? Security will be on the property management company. If you need additional security, then that would be on the operator. If selected and we secure sound and tech for space, who does it belong to if one leaves? So I'm guessing that that would be the person, like your equipment is your equipment. So I mean, if you have a speaker that gets connected to the wall, screwed into the wall, you can take it with you once you no longer are a programmer, if that's what you are referring to here. Am I reading that right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Anthony Smith said, if selected and we secure sound and tech for space, who does it belong to if one leaves?
Oh, well, if you bought it, it's yours.
Yeah, that's what I was making sure I was reading that right. Next question here. Looks like we have 10 left. Has project management been selected? Oh, answered that already. No. Thank you. Nice. What about artist workspaces? What about artist workspaces in lower level? Will they be packaged with rentals of apartments? That is something we are considering doing a 2-for-1 type of combo deal for a apartment as well as a work studio in the basement. What is my email? It's rjohnson@investnewark.org. Also on our website and in the RFP. What's the AMI? That question, we'll be able to answer that at a later date. Can the lobby and cafe be used as performance space as well? I mean, as Fiammi touched on, the cafe, we're not policing the building. It's for arts, it's for the art community. The whole house, like we said, can be rocking. The cafe can have poetry, spoken word or what have you, jazz or something like that in the cafe as well. It's not a limited use here.
Right. And I think the mayor's vision is to try and encourage collaboration and a collective. So you can submit your RFP for both the performance space and the cafe. If you have a partner who can run one while you run the other, and you submit kind of a joint package and you work collectively on your programming, that's beautiful. Or you just cultivate a relationship with the program, with whomever is on the other side. And if you want to do, an activity in the hallway, I like that you said that, Roger, that you're not policing the space. So, the operators do have some autonomy, and responsibility in how they operate the space.
Yeah, definitely correct. Like I said, it's going to be a coordination between, both operators as well as the property manager. So, as long as that is done, there shouldn't be any issues. What level of insurance coverage does the programmer need to have? That is listed out in the RFP as well. Considering how the performance space and cafe require people to gather in a small space, how will the responsibility be shared between Invest Newark and the operators if someone were to catch COVID in
Can I
either of the
answer
places?
this one? I don't know who this is, anonymous attendee. Who's this anonymous attendee? No, that's a very good question. And, like any space and any business, you have to follow the city's guidelines. Whatever the city's guidelines are for COVID, that's what you should be operating under. And it would be the operator's responsibility to enforce social distancing, wearing masks, all the proper procedures.
Correct. So in short, the building party brings liability that the operator is gonna have to be you have to be aware of. You know, not to say we're policing, but there is the liability, and you got to think through that when you're organizing events. So,
Yeah, it's just like operating a business. If you owned a
exactly right.
business downtown, how would you operate your business?
Yeah, you can't pack the house out if it's only 25% occupancy. So until that number goes up, when we're back to, lifted guidelines, then, you can definitely pack it out after that.
Thank you for that question, though, because it's important.
Last question is about rent. Again, we'll be issuing that at a later date. Oh, now people are coming up here. Anonymous said, "You're welcome." What type of food for the cafe? What that's the cafe operator. That's up to you to provide what you'll be serving. Global pandemic caused a lockdown, and for your lease of 1 year, do you get an extension or are you out of luck?
Kim with the good questions. That's a good question, Kim.
Yeah, so that's going to have to be part of your creativity, right? I mean, there's businesses that have done they've had to pivot, right? So you had a business where you had your place packed out all the time, but now because of COVID, you can't have people in your establishment, so you had to move to Uber Eats and deliveries and things like that. So maybe there's a system that you have to work out where instead of having
I don't think that's what she's asking, Roger. I think she's asking if your lease is for 1 year, but we're still in a pandemic and you can't operate at full capacity, do you get an extension on your lease? Can you negotiate an extension?
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna jump in right now because we couldn't answer that question tonight because we just don't know. And we're all living in very, very uncertain times and unprecedented. And it may come to that, but we wouldn't be able to say tonight because we just don't know how the vaccination is going to be distributed, the percentage of people taking it, how effective it's going to be. Like, there's just too many variables. Yeah. So Roger, you can work through the last couple of.
Yeah, so we're gonna just do this last question here about how to get a hold of RFP. As mentioned through our website, investnewark.org, you can go to the business support and procurement portal to access the RFP. Once you register, you can then download the RFP as you search through, and then you'll be able to download it and take a look at the RFPs from there. So with that, we're definitely well past our time here, but I just wanted to make sure that we got to all the questions, to make sure that everyone received information. And so with that, any other questions, definitely feel free to reach out to myself or Tracy Wingo, that is also listed in the RFP, and we will definitely provide answers to you as soon as possible. And you also have our great partners here, Jeremy and Fiammi, that you all know. You can always reach out to them as well, and they can connect you with us. So with that, just want to say thank you. And Jeremy, Fiammi, if you want to say good night.
Good night, everyone. If you all missed the New York Times article, which featured a cover picture of 505 Clinton Avenue, Google New York Times, Newark, and arts and development this past week. It was wonderful. It featured 505 Clinton right on the cover, wonderful profile in the New York Times. So let's keep the arts rising in Newark.
And thank you, Invest Newark, for just responding to all of these questions and providing space for our artist community. You know, your hard work, I really sincerely mean it, that it's really appreciated what you're doing. This is a first in our city. I hope that it can be a model. I hope that we can duplicate more artist housing and opportunities around the city. So let's submit some popping proposals. Come on, get it popping. What you
Absolutely.
got?
Absolutely.
And I'm just gonna sign off by saying thank you all. We love the energy, love the excitement. Thank you to our esteemed panelists, Jeremy and Fiammi and Kurt. Thank you for all your insight, hard work, and making this process better than where we started. This recording of this community meeting, because I know there was a lot of questions answered, and people want to make sure that they understood things the way they heard it. This community meeting recording is going to be rebroadcast on our website under our webinar gallery. So if it was anything that you wanted to hear again, you will be able to. But we appreciate you all and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
you.